What's good, YouTube? It's two dope boys. We back at it again. On this episode, we're gonna go over 8 at the table. She said she was divorced after the date.
Crazy. Let's get it.
So a woman goes out with a guy on a date, and they have a really great time. He takes her back to, I guess, her house, and she says, "Hey,
let's get it.
Just let you know, I'm separated, but I'm still legally married." She had said something in the beginning, before the date, and they were out for maybe like 2 or 3 hours at dinner or at an event or something like that.
Like the husband is in the crib?
Wait, that's exactly why.
That's what.
I mean, straight up, man, you gotta think like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely think she should have said something maybe before getting back, going on the date. You know what I mean? Like when we're kind of like getting to know each other, like I'm married. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going through a divorce, but you know, technically I am married, and let that person make the decision. What do you think?
No, you're right, because they could be like, all right, you're married, I'm good off of you. Like, because you could potentially put that person in danger.
Yeah.
You don't know the person's mental stability of the person's partner. Like, he might be crazy. He might be stalking you.
Yeah.
And then he sees that y'all on a date, and he be like, oh, word?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing? You know, you're potentially putting that person in danger.
Straight up.
So, yeah.
Like if you see that light come on, that's him?
No, she was not legally separated, but she's in the process of being divorced. So separated. Yeah.
Well, because some states require you to have a legal separation, and then others require you to have a separation such that it meets a certain number of days before you can actually get divorced. But that's
right. But that doesn't mean that she started her divorce.
Well, yeah, that does mean you've started it, because if you have a 90-day requirement to be, you know, living separately and apart from your spouse, you have to meet that threshold before you can file.
If that state allows, if that state requires.
But that's what I'm saying. That's neither here nor there, you know.
If you're starting a divorce, you're still married. So that's very sloppy. Like for me to meet somebody on a first time or whatever, and I find out at the end of the date that they're still married, that's not a good fit. We're not starting off on a good foot. And that'll make me look at you like at a side eye, like, yo, I'm not really messing with you like that. Or I might put her in that, yo, we just friends with benefits zone. Like you won't never get that wifey material type status because of how you started off the relationship.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I feel about it.
I still think she said something early, but she should have hit it earlier. And like, you know, while you're like, talking on the phone, texting, like,
before you guys see each other in person, they should know your situation.
Yeah.
Because in one state or in one case, it might be that is the start of the divorce. You know, just because there's no filing doesn't mean that the process hasn't started. Going back to her house where the husband potentially is or the husband could potentially be, whether, I don't know, he got to pick the kids up and he an hour early and he just sitting outside waiting, trying to, you know, miss traffic, or he working on his phone, whatever. I think that's something that should have been brought up for safety.
Yeah.
Because if you tell me after the fact, I'm gonna feel like you trying to get me caught up in a trick bag. You got me at this man's house or the house where this man can legally be, and I don't know what kind of nutcase he may be.
Yeah.
I think that's something that should be mentioned before the date, even. Like, how I'm going on a date with you, I don't even know that you're married.
Right. Well, yeah, that would be ideal, but I think maybe on the date, at least.
Well, yeah. If you just didn't happen to mention it before we went on this date, I would need that to be said. There's no by the way. That's not a by the way statement. Like, by the way, I'm married still legally, but we're separated right now.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things you got to tell somebody. If you're still married, you gotta make the other person make that decision. You can't make the decision for them, or withhold information from them, basically, so they won't be able to even make a decision on that matter.
Yeah, straight up, that should have came way before the date got started.
Before the date got started. That's not even like, she said like the latest the date. Nah, before the date even got started, you should give the person an opportunity to be like, nah, I'm good. Or, all right, I want to live on the dangerous side. You know?
That's not a by the way. That's not something you could just throw in there.
That sounds something you specifically avoided to see if you were having a good time with this person or not, to see if it was worth telling them.
Yeah, I think during the date is ideal, not pulling up to the crib. Like, I'm about to get out, but by the way, you see a man throwing out the garbage, that might be my soon-to-be ex-husband.
I think that anything that could be detrimental to the beginning of your relationship should be discussed on the first date. I feel like anything that is, I guess, marriage talk, for example, finances, you don't need to bring up anything with finances on the first date because obviously you're not financially invested in that person, or at least you shouldn't be by the first date. But anything like kids or your relationship status, or for example, like if you're poly, that should be brought up because I should have the choice to choose whether or not I want to move forward with you in this relationship.
I mean, also, it makes me wonder, like, what questions are you asking this person on the date? Like, what's really important to you? That, how did this not come up? I understand you don't want to talk about your past relationships, but at some point in time, you had to have asked her if she was single, like, what's your situation? And for that to not come up, then are we saying that they were just out there vibing and just having a good time and just forgot everything?
You don't have to. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people bag it with the best of them, man. You know what I'm saying? What up, Ma? You trying to chill? You know what I'm saying?
but I think he's basically saying like they was talking about a whole bunch of fluff.
Yeah.
If y'all got to this point and then you didn't find out she was married, what was y'all talking about? What restaurants y'all like to go to? Like
Basically.
what movies y'all like? Mad fluff that don't matter.
Hey, he back at the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. Oh my goodness, this is a wild world we live in.
Yeah, I think because it also depend on how long y'all been talking before the first date, right? Like some people you hit it off and you meet on a Wednesday, you go on the first date on a Friday. Some people, because of conflict of scheduling or whatever the case may be, you may not hang out with that person for a month or so. So, you know, if I'm talking to you for a month and none of these questions came up until we actually met in person, then I think maybe that should have came up if we're getting to know each other via text or phone call before actually hanging out together. But if it was like 48 hours, 72 hours when we met and now we went on a date, it was a little bit different. You know, you have a little bit of wiggle room where you should then talk about it at the first date as opposed to speaking for a month and none of this came up. Like,
yeah, it depends on how quickly things progress. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she told him at the end of the night because she was, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? We're already back at the crib.
Oh my goodness.
Let me say something.
That is not a good look.
I'm about to give him the cheeks.
That is not a good look. By the way, I'm married. Like, what? That is not a good look, dude.
You can't say I didn't tell you.
Yeah. Right before, and I take off your clothes, right? Like, nah, that's wild, dude.
Oh, man.
you know, I'm poly or I'm married or whatever, you know, whatever those things is that I should know before investing my time and extra energy into you.
And I think at a certain age, those are things that are going to naturally come up.
Yeah.
Because you be like, oh, I'm divorced, or, oh, my kid is in the second grade. And, you know,
Yeah, where's the mother?
Yeah.
It's all attached to that conversation.
Exactly. So in that case, if it's withheld, I think that is a bit nefarious. And that's already a red flag for, you know, the other person. But I think when you're younger, you don't have that level of responsibility and you've never had that level of responsibility, I could see how, you know, it wouldn't come up. Or say one person has that responsibility. So you're not even worried about asking this person if they got kids, if they married, if they, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's not your life.
Yeah.
In every
So I ain't bringing no baggage. I don't care. I ain't asking those questions. I'm chilling.
Oh my goodness, dude.
I want to know.
date, every person that goes on a date don't have the same purpose. Like every person that goes on a date isn't to find love. Some people are going on dates just to have something for the moment. You know what I'm saying? It could be sexual. It could just be I needed something to do. I needed somebody to hang out with. I needed some type of attention or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So I may not me, but someone may not ask all of those questions because they may not look at you as that person potentially to be with them in the future. It just may be something of the present, so they may not really care. That could go for men and women.
But even with that, wouldn't you want to know what y'all on? Like, you know, like, people like, all right, we're friends with benefits. We trying to potentially be married. Like, I think that's something that you should get out the gate first so that at least both of you guys have the same intentions. Like, nobody's like, has like any hidden intentions. You know, like everybody's like, basically all the cards are dealt. You see everybody's hand.
And you're protected. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has to get hurt. You know, everybody understands the situation.
Exactly. Like, you're not manipulating anybody.
How do you feel about people not disclosing they have children, though? We'll say you don't say it on the first date, and we'll give them the benefit of the doubt of the same thing we gave her, as far as it just didn't come up. They were having a good time. Say second or third date, how would that make you feel if, like, you met a woman and she didn't mention her kids once?
Well, yeah, that's
weird.
That's weird. Yeah, if you don't mention second or third date that you have a child or children, that's weird.
People that like their kids talk about their kids.
I was about to say.
So
I'm bringing them up. On
Yeah.
We saying that
doing
it's
that on
weird for a woman because obviously we would expect a woman to talk about her kids.
Damn, I was going to ask that too. I was going to say, I agree. I think that people who, love their kids, who want to be around their kids, naturally just talk about their kids, dog. You know what I'm saying? To whoever will listen. But I was going to say, do you think it's different if it was like, a different gender? Like, is it weirder if a woman doesn't bring up her kids after a few days versus like a guy? Just because, like, the woman bears the kids, is a natural nurturer.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that would maybe, like, should that matter? Or
Like the gender?
yeah. Like, do you think it's worse, like, if a woman doesn't mention it versus a guy, or is it just like even slate? Like, it doesn't matter whether they're woman or man.
I would say it's an even slate because you don't, like, you're in a dating stage. You're still trying to fill people out. You don't know if they're crazy or not. You got your kids. You don't want them to know too much about you, and you don't know their mental state. It's like everything's like a clean slate when you meet somebody. You got to fill them out. You don't know their whole situation. And I'm not going to say assume everybody's crazy, but you have to really know them before you start giving them that type of information and talking about that.
All that access.
All the access. So I would say no matter the gender, don't be just saying too much about your kids and stuff,
Word.
But honestly, I feel the same way about a man. If you're not bringing up your kids, are those kids that you were around a lot? Do you like your kids? Are you keeping it? Are you ashamed that you're a man with kids dating?
Like when you think about it.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think that a lot of people might be either ashamed of them or their kids, or they are trying to manipulate someone into a relationship with them, hoping that they'll like them enough from the first and second date that they'll just accept it by the third one. Essentially,
There's also like a reverse red flag, if that makes sense, right? Like, why haven't you asked me this? If that makes
That's what I was saying. Like,
why haven't you asked me? This our third date. Why haven't you asked me if I have a girl? Why haven't you asked me if I was ever married? Why haven't you asked me if I have kids? Like,
Because I don't care.
Some
just trying to be.
Some people on that status, but they left out one of the aspects, like which I said, is protection. Like everybody assumes that, you don't care about your kids because you don't talk about them. But what happens to protecting your kid and privacy?
Yeah.
It's like, if somebody asks me like I got a kid, I'm like, but I'm not gonna be volunteering information like, they go to this school.
Oh, no.
And they do all this other stuff. And then if I don't say it, then you look at me funny. I'm like, no, I just want to protect my family or protect my kid, make sure you don't know too much about them because I don't know your mental stability.
Absolutely. I think initially you have to have your reservations, but I think over time, I think it would be a little weird if you're dating somebody for a couple of months. It's like, you ain't brought up your kids. You know what I'm saying? Of course not
I
day
agree.
1, day 2, because you don't really know where it's going to go.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
you can look at it both ways. Like, are your intentions different? You know what I'm saying? In a regular dating to get to know each other, to be together, possibly type of a relationship, or is your intentions, some sort of financial game, some sort of physical game, whether it's man to woman, woman to man. You know what I'm saying? Why aren't you asking me these questions?
Or sometimes you let the vibe just catch you.
So that's what I was saying.
And you just forget, because what if you pursued me? So I didn't think to ask if you got a girl. You came over here.
Right. Exactly.
You know,
What am I asking you for?
Yeah, and we've been vibing. And also Aaron mentioned this point earlier, like, what if you guys are living two different kind of lives. So for me, I don't have no kids, and I don't usually be talking to nobody that have kids. So that's not really the first thing that's going to come out of my mouth, even though I should. At this day and age, I should be asking people if they got kids, but that's not going to be the first question that I ask someone my age. So that might have been my bad. Yeah. But that's the reason I didn't ask, because I wasn't thinking about that. But if you did, you should have said, why are you waiting for me to ask?
Yeah,
If we're getting to know each other,
It falls on the person with the obligation, personally.
We'll say they both have kids, and if it didn't come up, it would fall on both of us.
Yeah.
no, but if we're getting to know each other, first date, and we're just talking about our everyday lives, what do you do? Like, what do you do outside of work? Or, how does your kids not get brought up?
Yeah.
Well,
That's weird.
It depends. I can see a woman not bringing it up initially. You know what I'm saying? They want to make sure this is somebody that they
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
intend to get a little bit closer with before they bring up, their personal life, like their kids. And I think it's weird. You just meeting a guy on the first date and you letting them drop you home. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You ain't lying.
I get it happens, but if you're in a house and you have kids and all that, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a little bit
That'll be
first
wild.
date is like if you just met somebody. So I can see.
I think that's true. People are more willing to let them drop you off at the crib or pick me up at my crib. You about to go to this restaurant and be all excited, but you don't know if the person's crazy or not. Like, so you got to protect yourself. Like, tell them to drop you off at the corner or something like that. Like somewhere else that's not your house.
Yeah.
You can't be letting like strangers that you just met or that you don't know that good meet you and know where you live at and stuff, where you rest your head at.
That nigga kick in the door and take them cheeks, nigga.
Exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
A woman trying to be a little bit guarded. Like, let me make sure this guy's not a weirdo before I start telling them about my kids or something.
Thank you.
On the male aspect, I feel like it shouldn't be hidden. You know what I'm saying? But on the women, I could get it.
Is it because the woman is scared that it could put her kids in danger?
Yeah, I mean, you don't like. People weird, both men and women.
I get it.
I go on a first date with you, and all of a sudden, 3 days later, you're stalking me outside and I got kids. You know what I'm saying? We only went on one date, and all of a sudden, you outside my door in the bushes, like you're putting me and my kids in danger. So maybe I don't let you know all that information until I'm feeling you.
You got camouflage gear on
I
and
feel like
everything.
regardless if you meet someone like that, regardless if you have kids or not, they're going to do that. So I feel like bringing my
Stalking?
kids up. Like, so no, I mean, like, if he's a stalker, he's going to stalk me regardless of whether I have kids or not. So I just feel like you don't have to necessarily describe your kids to the person, but you can bring up that you have children. So like, yes, not mentioning your kids on the first date, regardless of the gender, is weird.
Like I said, people that like their kids, people that take care of their kids, people that are proud of their kids, they talk about their kids.
Yeah.
People be knowing their kids and they ain't never even met them. So it's just even...
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you how easy it is for you to mention your kids. You be like, ooh, child, we got to get out of here because I got to wake up at 6. Like...
Why do you got to be up?
Right.
Yeah, like I think if you work 9 to 5, why on earth are you waking up at 6? Because I'd be like, oh, why you got to get up so early?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I go to the gym, or oh, I go water my mama's plants every day, or I got to get my kids up.
Right.
So it's just, again, I think it's kind of hard to, like you said, unless it's intentional, it's kind of hard for it to not
come up in a conversation, like in a real good conversation. It's kind of hard for it not to come up, unless my intentions are not to learn anything about your kids, unless my intentions is to like,
Smash.
do something physical
Tonight,
with you.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, I don't care about all of that. What we doing tonight? You know?
Yeah.
Then it's
and
different.
fuck them kids.
So a woman goes out with a guy on a date, and they have a really great time.
Yeah, man. If a dude ain't asking, man, you know what I'm saying, more than likely, he don't care, you know what I'm saying, he don't want to know, and he
just
probably
want the
ain't
chicks.
sticking around that long.
He just want the cheeks if that's the case.
Absolutely. And if you a shorty, you know what I'm saying, disclose that information when it's safe. You know what I mean? When you know the person and you feel like it's a good time to let them know. As far as kids, as far as being married, I feel like that should come a little sooner. Especially if you're going to be going on a date with
Definitely on the
somebody.
phone, and that's tricky because like starting off on that foot is a little wild, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But some people do it, and so everybody needs a little bit of loving, companionship. So
Yeah, I
it is
get
what it is.
You know what I'm saying? That's all we got for y'all, man. 2 dope boys. See y'all the next one. We out.